Welcome. Oh, it's midnight, exact. Hello. So I'm just testing out my voice because it's midnight. Not that that means anything in regards to my speaking, but it has been brought to my attention based off of I haven't really fully watched back the last 2 videos that I uploaded on my YouTube. I've been busy to do the time stamping parts and stuff like that, but I did get to hear playback and see that in at least in the second video of my upload, that it was muffled. I need a good microphone. I've been saying that for a while. Yeah. So I want to be mindful and in my articulations while recording. When I record, to make sure, because I'm so colorful in all of my expressions, Spirit really wants me to be present, conscious through every multi-dimensional occurrence, circuitry of simultaneous activating, percolating things that are occurring within me that I do simultaneously, or process, compute, or receive and do all at the same motherfucking time. Each of us are this way. We are multi-dimensional beings. Breathe that in. Breathe that in. I'm in a weird mood. And by weird, I mean good, you know? So yeah, I don't want this video to be muffled. So I am being mindful of my babbling that can go into great speed of delivery, because the channeling flow that just goes is this freestyle nation in my United Nations that is like, ooh, on its elevations. There is no thought to the processes of all the channeling that happens within me. I just go on this sporadic dive. I take a dive into this shrine of mine that just articulates with my linguistics and this tongue of mine, and you see, and then I say a lot of things. That's what I call the babbling, channeling, you know? So it just happens. 1 second. Hello. So I return. yeah. So, right. I want to thank you all for tuning in whenever you do, from wherever you are, whenever you are, wherever you are. I appreciate you, and know that no matter what gets put out, because most of my videos, they are freestyled. Like, I never know what the channel is gonna say. There are many times that I record and stuff and I'll have a target thought, but that's not often. The human is a little bit more airy and breezy in terms of things in the detailing department, right? So all I know is that I'm supposed to trust and allow the channel to just be. And it's a different stage of community for me in my own communication, because if you see any of my other videos, right, as of recent, you know, I babble through a lot. I realize the heart of the babbles. I used to feel still like, I don't want to say it in this kind of way because, all right, I'm gonna say it. Like, because I don't want to appear ungrateful for the journey passageway of this perception that is of you, that evolves, expands too. But, you know, I do speak, and this is a natural occurrence for me throughout the course of my life. This is not like just, oh no, from 14 years old to 16, I was in this phase of this goth phase or something, and that was it. It was for 2 years or whatever. I don't know how many years I said, but the way that I speak, where I go off into like poetic prose channeling or just philosophical kind of things or whatever. Sometimes I don't even remember what I say. It's been constant. And so, because it's different and I had to go through the motions of life experience to experience being the oddball. Right? There were a lot of adjustments that obviously I had to go through for me to sit in the space of place that I'm in now that is way different from that space of a place from before, right? And so I know that I draw in a lot of people that are on their own unique individual journey that may have always felt like we're different, like clearly different. You go to a convention and everyone's looking at you because you're different than everybody at the convention, at the concert, at the supermarket, at the thing. Like, it doesn't matter where you go and it doesn't matter what you wear. Doesn't matter what you wear. I've done this. I know. Doesn't matter what color hair I have. Doesn't matter whether I have makeup on my face or not. It doesn't matter if I'm dressed down to the T and down in my PJs. You know what I mean? Different is different. Right? And so is these last couple of years of further diving into my own YouTube development, right? It's like what is a practice run? because hold on 1 second. I want to learn. Right. So sorry, I had to say something else. You know, just speaking. Anyways, and I know that a lot of the connections that I have made with people throughout the span of my existence in this 3D plane of existence, not speaking anything else other than this realm of perceived 3D reality. That's what I'm talking about on this earthly domain, okay? At this precise moment in time. Those that I have connected with, right? Because I'm that lone wolf kind of, but I do. Hold on 1 second. Hi. So, yeah, what was I saying? Right, so, you know, connecting with so many you beautiful souls, right? The unique in me sees the unique in you, you know? And, hold on. Hello, right? So, bam, 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 crystal clear. Yeah, okay. So if there is one thing I have become accustomed to in this world, this 3D realm of existence, since I could remember, know, right? Is this most people not understand me. But that's not true. We all don't understand each other. That's the truth. But we can learn to understand once we get into our inner stand. Because then we start to comprehend. But that requires us to take a pause. Look what's within this clause and process before taking a bite, right? About whatever it is. What was I saying? Because I keep getting distracted. Different. You different. I different. We all different, right? And for some, they have been made to feel the impact of their difference for the course of their own life. Raise your hand if the outside world further contributed to your uncomfortability in regards to how different and odd they made you feel, more like so than you already possibly did, because you know that you're different. Whose fault? Who's at fault? Nobody. I understand better the terminology. Forgiveness is divine. Even though I had forgiven in my life, I didn't understand the divine part. It was just a bright part. Take 113. It's just the right thing to do. It's an evolutionary thing. Not many do that. I know. Took 113. There are going to be changes to my channel. Announcements coming soon. I'm excited to share in the orchestration of this transformation. Back to what I was saying though. So, I'm just also using me. I don't really do gossip. Anything that I usually have to say about anyone, if I have to say something about someone, and I rarely speak about anybody behind their back unless I'm being matter of fact and I just have something to say. But I have made it my business since junior high school to abide in this law that I kind of have cemented and solidified in my whole entire being for over 25 plus 30 years. You know what I mean? So I could say consistency there is a little apparent, right? It's like you go bank on that. Do that who may not know me, that want to come in after many lives have been lived. You want to come in and you want to give your little ignorant spin and tell me who the fudge I am and what I am about? You better sit your ass down, right? Ignorance be a diss to your own environment. I don't know where that was from, but anyways, what was I saying? Back to what I was saying, right? So maybe different. That's what I was saying, right? Ignorance be a diss to one's own environment. What was I saying? Oh boy. This is part of it though. So for those of you witnessing this and find yourself intrigued, or you can relate to the way that energies be with your own heightened sensitivity and intuitiveness that picks up on everything, and you have to process it and also operate on it while you process it all at the same time. So I use me because I'm not much one. And if I give a relatable story about something that has to do with somebody else, best believe that the story is tied to me in some kind of way where I'm giving the example for that kind of thing because it's relevant, because I experienced it. You know what I'm saying? So I use a lot of things for reference, not for feeling. Cross-reference point. I understand the wisdom of my own childhood experience in regards to the banishment, my inability to and refusal for years. I can't tell you how many years, but it was years that it came to a point in my own life that the grief from my mother's passing was no longer bearable. There wasn't shit I could do about that reality. And so it was in my childhood genius that I made a choice. What's going to help me get to my peace? Even if it might be a long road. Because I don't want to keep energizing this shit feeling. So I didn't talk about her. I didn't allow myself to think about her. And anyone who ever brought her up, I dismissed it quickly. Don't talk to me. In doing so, I already had my solution. Because I never not wanted to not be able to speak about my mother. That's cruel and it's cold and that's not what I want. So I knew that then too. Use me as an example because I am the only tool that I can use to give an example of whatever it is that you're going to receive from the mana of all of this. This is individualized for each of you on your own damn journey. I'm going to play this back, listen to this back, do my timestamps and all of that, and I'm going to receive all of this too. Brings me back to what I was going to say. But, and the wisdom of the action, that although the human didn't fully grasp, I don't know why this had to be this way. Like, I didn't press it. I just did it under influence. I was under the influence of spirit. So, dale. Okay. I'm going to help you get through. But until you can master your emotions about it, you have to eliminate its influence and energy from your experience. So as much as I love my mother, and as painful as having to deal with her departure from such an early young age, I had to do something about that pain in my heart because it was not helpful. But I knew, right? It's like I have faith that a solution in time, a healing in time. Time heals all wounds, I used to say a lot of it. There came a time, and so what I had said, right, was the day I'm able to speak about my mother without being hurt by the emotion that I feel. That's when I'll know. I'll know by my ability to be able to even stomach conversation about her or something, right? So in all my coaching, and I don't like to call it coaching. That's why I have troubles with all these labels. Everybody's like, oh, conform, conform, conform. I don't like the name they're giving these things. That's why when I speak to people and they get to know me, like in the type of behind the scenes sessions we have, right? We go deep. Every session with me, no matter what you call me for, we're going deep. Best believe. I don't care how airy I seem. I don't care how humorous I am. I don't care how funny I am. We're going deep. And it's going to register. It's just the way it is. No matter what it's for, it's always fucking deep. And it's based off of wherever it is that you are on your evolutionary journey that you're ready for. Because I don't force feed shit into anybody unless I hear to your message. Listen, this person's not going to like this, but you have to tell them. And those are rarities. Where it's like, okay, I'm just going to deliver, take with it as you will. But most times, this human vessel of mine respects your boundary as to where you are on your journey. I had to learn that the hard way too. The trial and error experience with people that this is a lifetime practice. Having friendship circles of people that are drawn to you because of how you are. Best believe you're a fucking influence on all those people. No matter how it's made to seem. You know what I'm saying? It's like people coming to you for assistance, right? So they see that, you see, whatever it is that you do, they see and they want in on it. Right? It has nothing to do with you, you know, but part of our conditioning too, that validation, you're receiving it in some kind of way. And here comes the low blow punch in every kind of humanistic kind of way that comes from the denied, the deprivation of this human cycling of not feeling like we receive what we give. Because in our failure to realize that what we give should be to ourselves, we're all giving it to somewhere else, someone else, someplace else that is it's not equipped to give it back to you in the same dosage. Right? And then you didn't love me like I loved you. So you didn't love me. Right? Wow. That side swap there. But what was that? I didn't see. There was a lot of energies coming in from that experience. A lot of stuff happening. One second. The one thing that I keep forgetting that I remember midway is my paper and pen next to me when I do these channeling babbles, because I know I go back and forth with it all and stuff like that. And I do my best to try to complete the line of strain of topic, or because it's mixed. It's mixed what I'm saying? Because it's channeled thoughts that I'm grabbing. Like, so imagine if there's a huge cloud, like, you know how like when you're in school, you would do a, what's it called? You would do, what's it called? Yes, okay, it's funny too, right? But going back to what I was saying, thank you for that. I came back to that. Thank you so much. So it's like people coming to you for everything that you do and acknowledging in some kind of way what you do. And so you help them in every kind of way that you have time to help them in every kind of way because it's in your nature to do these kind of things. And then you also start sending them material to watch, to follow, to go check out, right? And then those same people, you find them praising publicly, boastfully, this all those other persons or things that you sent them to, and crediting all those people, places, things that you sent them, even if a lot of it prior to leading up to it was your own personal stuff that you had. And having that experience built into your conditioning will really put you in the energy of undervaluing and undermining your own self because of that. I went through so many words right now in my mind. Cruelty, because of the behavior, because of the lack of appreciate. Like you can name it so many things, you can call it whatever, but again, it's putting too much focus on what is not important for yourself. See, for me, in a scenario like that, with added wisdom from life experience, not saying it happened overnight, but I would take that trigger and get to the root of how it made me feel and work from that angle, as opposed to being butthurt by the actions of other people. I'll go into the center feeling as to how can I better shift this perception for myself at this time while dealing with certain kind of actions from other people. It's really went sideways. There's that to be said. I'm supposed to be talking clearly and mindfully, articulating, percolating. Okay, so that went off sideways. Let's go back to being different. There's so much conditioning sewn into different. Okay, so there's like so much emphasis being emphasized here on being different that a lifetime of feeling that way or being made to feel that way or knowing that it is that way Think about all the moments that have been etched into our etheric space that creates your energy, frequency, vibration of reality to commingle with many other granted realities and energies, frequencies, and vibrations existing all about, right? But think about the years, like when it goes untreated, where you're not conscious about it, where you're not doing anything about your conditioning. And so it's kind of sewn into your every being. To even identify it would be quite the challenge. But we're conscious creators, genius when we want to be, right? But I guess we're here now to the purpose. Because let's see, okay, for those that receive the mana here, for those that receive. I learned early on that from elementary school and junior high school, based off of the friends I would make and the things we would talk about and the things I would share. And I was always, I guess, what they called bossy. I was always told I was bossy because I always told people what to do. And I used to take such offense to that and be defensive about that statement. I'm like, I'm not bossy. You can do whatever the fudge you want. I'm just telling you what you should do. Doesn't mean you have to do it. But think about that conditioning. I've been told that since elementary school, because since elementary school, before that, I'm just saying, like, we're publicly, because we go to school and we're put into this public atmosphere, you know, and we have these experiences with other beings on this planet. Once you develop enough life experience, you can recall your life experiences and bring it to the table so that you can better understand it for yourself. And if you're not doing those kind of things, like, what the fuck are you doing with your whole entire life? Like, are you even processing it? I'm not saying you have to go full throttle, like, you know, like beast mode, like I'll be doing, right? But when do you ever introspect? That's none of my business. Just saying, right? So just what I'm trying now to hear, now I'm receiving, there's a point to this. The point that's trying to be made here is we have so much conditioning in our systems, a lot of learning what we have learned up until this point, to see it outside of ourselves. It's the only way that you can it's the only way you can remove yourself from its grasp, to see it for what it is, which has never been you, has been taught onto you, and you have adapted to its talk, you know? And so to see these things in itself is a whole unlearning process. And in that unlearning process, we're still left with a world that is already pre-made for us to adapt off of. And now in our cognitive awareness, consciousness, our ability to be this conscious, to just be this conscious, requires you to be this way deliberately, continuously. Because at any given second, it's like being an avatar where someone else has the control. And at any given moment, they can put you in sleep mode. Right? The next time you're like in a space cadet kind of days, you spaced out in some kind of way, just in a what you probably in your mind penetrate as a lazy kind of thing that you do because you get nothing done in those states of times that you deactivate your mind and you're just like, we could say it's drug induced, whatever the case may be. Think about like an avatar, like who's playing your avatar. I'm sure there's going to be many prideful mofos, but ain't nobody's playing my avatar. What you talking about? Playing my avatar, right? So the purpose and the point is so much has been sown into what we know that to get to not know through what we learn and know, it's a whole other atmosphere of school, training, and development. And to be so hard on ourselves or to feel like we lack the skill, the depth, the discipline, the consistency, is to shortchange yourself. Because you had a lifetime up until the point of when you are being conscious and where you're now shifting your behavioral patterns and conditioning to better serve you now in your consciousness. People that revert back to their habits in consciousness go back to sleep. And those that stay in their purgatory or they're conscious, but they still choose not to change their behaviors or their patterns and their conditioning, then their purgatory is to be in a state of distress and stress and inadequacy because they are conscious. But they don't do what they need to do in order to shift that, change their reality. And so there's this purgatory kind of energy. Right? Many different energies we can all be in at different times. It's a matter of introspection. You understanding where you are at any given moment. Fuck the outside world. You gotta get yourself together. It's the only way. In truth, for you, right? That was another side off. Side off. Right? To the purpose point. So you're 20 years old. You've had 20 years of conditioning being sown into you before you woke up at 21. Okay. Just giving you an example. So at 22, if you're still disappointed with your improvement because it's not as fast as you would want it to be, think about the 20 years of life you lived conditioning that into your system, your being. So how dare you be hard on yourself and lack there the compassion and sympathy for your own human experience of conditioning that you are now conscious and work to, that you are working on. Be patient. It's like meeting someone new. Like, whoa, buddy, I know we getting along. That's fabulously great. Oh, yes, we connect on every kind of multi-dimensional kind of way. Oh, yes, we have some past life ties, too. This is exciting. We're going to get to really know you, right? But just remember, too, because the most thing that is most potent on this motherfucking land is these 3D perceived realities of existence. And so, therefore, I know that there's a lot of life lived between me and you before we met on this 3D plane of existence. And so patient I am to discover these lines. Because my mind shown a lot of things. Do not act out of desperation or move in wisdom. Granted, I may have not always. But who the fuck lives there? People hung up on you over there. Let them stay there. That's their evolution. Anywho, so change. The law of multidimensionality. The law of multidimensionality. Wait, wait. The law of multidimensionality. The law of multidimensionality goes well with the law of, not a law, but evil is educational. Well, what the human perceives as evil. Because it's a learning experience. All of it is a learning experience. Hold on one second. Hi. So time passed. Okay. So, whatever. Message, purpose, point. Message, purpose, point. The time has come for you to accept whom you are, where you are, how you are. Always, this is 50-50. Some of you are truly grasping it. You're percolating your own juices from within. And, oh, I heard Stella got her groove back. I've never saw that, but Stella got her groove back. Because you're so talented. You are realizing that everything that you have felt was your kryptonite, was actually just as good as going to school to get a degree. It's actually even better. Someone going out there to go get a degree does not have the life experience that warrants them to have and hold and uphold that degree. An infusion of the two would be great, you know what I mean? But I'm right. In all your different, you have been awesome. Just the last person to know that. Even if there have been times that you have acknowledge them or see. Think about it. The validation sometimes that one seeks from another to be received is because one sees how awesome this creation or thing that they want someone else to see and receive and celebrate with them. And oftentimes those people don't receive back the feedback or the response or the energy, frequency, vibration that one would expect or want to receive. And so over time, having such experiences can be rather not so great. And for everybody, because we are each individual, and we are each from different storyland adventures from our own quantum lands of discovery, are going to activate some kind of trigger response from our own inner being to commingle with all and create its own me based off of that commingle, right? And this is what distinguishes an expert, which is just another labeling of a word that I don't like either, from a non-expert who's only fluff. Because if there's one thing that I have motherfucking learned, those speaking and living wise, that's a two-way street. There'll be a lot of people speaking wise. Don't mean they live and activate wise. They just speak because it's fluff and it sounds good. But I know, and I don't care about anybody else's opinion about a statement I will make. Although everyone's free to share it. I welcome all opinions with respect because we are each entitled to be wherever we are on our evolutionary journey in thought, form, concept, creed, breed, seed, creed. Is that what I was going to say? Thanks. I have learned without a shadow of any motherfucking doubt. A person living wise, speaking wise, and acting wise, come from truth. No mistake. And so their acts of wisdom and strength, this courage, this discipline, It is mastery at its mother fudging finest, whether they have a degree, a PhD, a certificate, or not. So no label will ever decide for me where I sit. We don't live in a world like that. What certificate you have? What school you went to? And who was your professor? Who was your trainer? Who was this and who was that? Pinocchio? Pluto was there too. Yeah. Okay. And so where am I going with this? Okay. So thank you for joining me here. If this is your first time, please know that there's no one way kind of way that I do any kind of thing. These are evolutionary channels that are healing in every dynamic way, whether you're conscious of it or not, in that kind of state. But what I do know is that there are pockets of mana for all in every single video that I post and share. There's something for all. All you have to do is handle that with care and find what is there for you. There is something here for you. If you find yourself here, you just have to do the work, my dear. And for those of you that hear through its entirety, even if you watch it in parts, listen to it in pieces, replay it back, and actually then I know the seriousness to your own evolution, that you even can listen to me to such an extent. Back to the whole, what I was saying about, me from before was, I have learned, I took offense, this is where we're going with conditioning, to the people in my life through my whole entire life conditioning experience who were not equipped to receive me in the light that I came in. And so that can shut down a person's system of activation, okay? That can cause and create a lot of other kind of experiences to take form due to the upbringing conditioning that has been shaped and formed from something that comes natural, right? And so my ability wow, there's so much to cover. I want to get down to the nitty-gritty of where many of you are on in terms of your gift. And, we're going to call it that. Abilities, gifts. Because I get a lot of questions from random people that I don't know, as well along with those that I do know, but a lot that I don't know. Always referencing a video they saw of mine. Me never knowing which video that is, because even if they reference it, I don't know what that video is. But pretty much even if it's worded differently, even if it's asked differently and things like that, because we are each individuals. If I was to break it down into root, it seems that I'm able to explain certain kind of things that happen to them that nobody's ever been able to even acknowledge that that happens to them too. And so they know based off of how I speak what the fuck I'm talking about. And, you know, traveling and receiving and living multidimensionally all simultaneously at the same time, and handling that, dealing with that while being highly heightened, sensitive, and intuitive at the same motherfucking time. How do you not go mad? Right? How do you not lose your mind? How do you work? How do you function? So I get asked a lot of those kind of things, and when the onslaught of those kind of askings started to come into play for me, I didn't really have answers. But I love Pandora's box opening. Because they posed a question, the answers shall arrive, which is exciting. It's like, okay, wow, okay, this is where you're connecting with me on. And so, you know, a lot of these videos will be like that, helping you channel through, and also delivering pockets of whole holistic mana that just applies for us all. And just if nobody listens, at least the energy is that of a healing energy, frequency, vibration that everyone receives, no matter where they are on their evolutionary journey. That's just the way it is. So no matter who visits, for whatever reason, it is what it is. Okay. Yeah. Right. So what was I saying? Purpose, function, meaning. You are a unique specimen, an extension of source. Period. You are powerful. You carry within you so much human potential based off of your multidimensional reality of truth and existence that goes beyond your human capabilities of grasp. Yet, you're guided, loved, protected, and having some blind faith that activates just that mustard seed of faith that is needed. But it's like, when do we grow the mustard seed faith into something full blown, apparent? The moment it is spoken, it is the token of deliberation activation that is required, needed to be created. To serve whatever purpose function that it will serve, right? Anyways. Lots of the things that have been drilled into your conditioning have been against you. And even if it hasn't been against you, its conditioning has. So it's like contradicting energy, frequency, the etheric field that we all share. So even if we think we build up an immunity to our consciousness, we still all feel its effects. So are we ever really exempt from any one experience? It's just showing up for each and every one of us based off of our own mind, body, heart, and soul molecular evolution, which is individualized for each and every one of us, unique in its own way. Everyone that has ever worked with me one-on-one, I have this to say about you. This is everyone I have ever worked with one-on-one. So if you're wondering, is that me? Did I ever work with you one-on-one, whether it be for whatever kind of, yes. You all are the elixir. So if you could just get past your stuck by being in your know, in your truth, the elixir is automatically activated. The lesson in this lifetime for you, part of it, because there's many lessons, is to finally learn to love the elixir. So any feelings of inadequacy, any feelings of not being qualified, any feelings of not being seen from before, any feelings of being rejected, any feelings, all these feelings from our conditioned experience that are lingering about need to fully be transmuted, especially during this next solar eclipse season that is approaching. I think on my birthday. Solar eclipse. Which you set into motion. And think, oh, I have to rush and race and put everything into motion then. Dude, it's what you've been putting into motion, and it's now writing. It's like papers, right? It's like writing the first draft, the second draft, third draft, and now this is your final draft. Write it right. It's going to be graded on it. Okay. Signed, the universe. Right? So, beautiful. Right. So, before even hitting record, I had these, my angel wisdom cards. And I was shuffling them, and then I split it in half. And then upon splitting it in half, I got the 2 points. Brilliant, talented, independent, controlling. There's nothing you can't do. Believe in yourself. Never underestimate your ability to make your dreams come true. That's it. I never finished this book. That's it. Never underestimate your ability to make your dreams come true. The need for balance between career and personal life. Right? And then discipline. Brilliance, experience, humorous, judgmental, releasing situations or people that no longer serve you. Seeing the humor in difficult situations, focusing on career, divorced, or unmarried individuals, right? The need for balance between career and personal life. Right? Focusing on career. So there are a lot of things, and I hear, just for career, it's just like purpose, path, like your mission, like whatever that's going to be for you. It doesn't have to be, oh my God, I'm here to help save the world, and this crusade, like, don't get, that's part of the conditioned fun way too. I want to say the new wave of activate is a new fun conditioning being drilled into our ecosystem of etheric fields of reality, multidimensional reality. And this could also be the acts of evolution taking form and speeding up because it has been activated for quite some time, right? But, oh, right. So make a choice. Make a choice. Stop procrastinating. Stop overanalyzing. Get clarity on what you desire and move forward. Too many options. Too many addictions. Too many things creating conflict because they don't want you to have your resolution, right? So too many options, too many things. So going back to even what I was saying about cutting out, going back to that purpose. So the whole purpose of me even sharing the story about what I did with my mom after she passed away, where I had made a choice that I wasn't going to engage because the root of the understanding of that was that I'm getting my emotions in check so that I can healthily communicate about my mother without it hurting me twice. Then time flies by, right? There was a song that she dedicated to me and my sister before she passed away that they played at her funeral that for so long I was not able to even hear it. And oh, it haunted me. I would walk into a department store and it would play. I would walk and I'm like, that's not even a common song. Not even a common song. Okay, so it's training, retraining ourselves while we are consciously more so invoking our awakening by taking action, deliberate action that is wise counsel for our own evolutionary development. And for everybody that's going to be different, right? It doesn't mean push everything to the side and act like it goes away and everything will be okay and I'm done. Don't. No. It's learning how to cope and deal with your feels in a way that allows you to still operate in a healthy way that you want to create. I don't want to be sad forever, although it was sad. And although there was nothing that I was going to be able to do about changing that situation of that reality to not make it any more sad, unless you're telling me that you're going to bring her back to me and she's going to be standing here and we're going to live the rest of our lives happily ever after. Like, there's nothing to make it the sad not sad. And that was my whole anger with Source, like with life at that point. Like, you can't undo this. Yeah, granted. And I always like I'm telling you, I heard it. She's always like, I don't give one thing what you got to say about the connection that I'm always going to say, huh? That's not the one. The one that I want is the one that's in this 3D reality that I can touch, I can taste, I can feel, I can hug her, I can touch her, talk to her here, live in the physical 3D. That's what I'm talking about. Right? Right? And so yes, there are many hard swallows to life, and we must allow ourselves healthy grievances when the time comes for them, right? Then there comes a time when you have to move on from that point too. And sometimes you have to make a decision that might sound cold, and to others, they might be like, well, that's not going to help you. Shut up. But usually when it comes to death, most people don't play too much with that. And there are insensitive jerks out there, trust, right? I've had those. After my mother had died, right, I had received letters, little notes from all the students from my class, sending me their condolences, saying they were really nice and beautiful. I actually have them. I found them in the midst of my move, so when I re-find them again, I'll share. But when I went back to school, thinking, so this is what I mean too, like, so it's like having like that bitter, kind of bittersweet experience. Like, so it was like, oh wow, that was touching. Pisces moon child, right? Pisces aqua moon child. Weird as can be, insensitive as well, right? And wow, that's so great. Then to return to school after not going, after the morning, after receiving such wonderful notes from students, to go back to school to rumors about your mother's dog that were horrible, and having to argue and fight and defend my mother's dog, saying she didn't die like that. Why would you say that? And then talking about because she died and she was insane about the baby that she was like. It was horrible. 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 While I was still mourning. So that feeling, right, from your peers, that was like kind of short lived, right? Right? It's like working the same industry job as your best friend, but you got that promotion. Hopefully you have a best friend that's happy for you, genuinely so, authentically too. And not like, why her, not me? I'm the one that likes this industry. I had a best friend like that. Because I got into the fashion industry, and that was the industry that she loves. And I got the job because I went on a job interview at some agency who sent me to this fashion company that I interviewed for, and I got the job. And that was my door into fashion, which she at that time was going to school for, applied to many jobs for. And if you work fashion, if you know, like, the fashion industry is not easy to get into, right? It's not easy to get into, but once you have your foot in the door, you have your foot in the door. I ended up later on, a couple of years later, in another company getting that same friend. I always got that same friend a job wherever it was that I was working. Yeah, so I got her into the fashion industry. She ended up getting herself fired, you know. So anyway, right? It's like, what do? Like, you got the opportunity. Here it is in your hand, and you blew it, right? So, anyways, yeah, what was I saying? I don't know where that came from. But yeah, it's like, yeah, so it's like those kind of things, and having those bittersweet kind of moments with others. Like, I was talking like that about friendships with my daughter, and I said, It's not about conceitedness. It's not about ego. Like, in order for a woman, I have seen from my life experience, okay, and this is just from my fucking life experience, a woman that can honestly be my friend cannot really be insecure. And if she is any level of insecure, she has to love me in some kind of way where it's not going to be malice or like evil eye kind of shit. And there's not a lot of people loving me outside of like family who feel like they are supposed to love you. That's what they love you. Right? So it's like, oh, why do you have to say that? It's because it is what it is. Right? Because I've had multiple experiences of just whether it be energy real or not, like, you know, where we could be cool, but after some point your insecurity shows. And then you take it out energetically on me. Like it's my fucking fault. Right? So it's like, that's what I was saying about the ex-best friend, about like, she was lying. And then like not act like a hater. Like saying, I'm happy for you, but why are you complaining about my thing? Like she's like, you know, never really fully getting to bask in your own joyous experiences or accomplishments or something, because it's always been like side-eyed or rudely given or acknowledged by so many other people that the people that you wanted it to be acknowledged by, it wasn't. So you didn't fully appreciate or grasp those moments, the people that were honoring you with the award or rewards or, you know, whatever the case may be. Because you were feeling the extra from the people you were connected to, right? That were like the Debbie Downers for you. The Magician. Magic is alive in your life. What you need to be successful manifest. If you believe it, you can do it. Right? So I'm gonna wrap this up because I gotta start going, and I know I get into my babbling sprees. But just know that there's so much conditioned within you that you are coming into awareness to, and it never ends until your last breath. There's something for you to learn about your own evolution. Never think that you've reached any kind of heightened level of mastery of anything. Although you can master a lot of things, there's no mastery to anything because it's constant evolution and there's more. Even if you're at its end, there's more. Right? And so, you know, start imagining yourself more so as the elixir. You are the remedy. You've done the work. That's what puts you apart from everybody else. No matter what they say, no matter what hissy fit they throw their fucking way, no matter what gossip they want to throw, whatever it is, the seeds, the blasphemy, the freaking whatever it is that anybody else wants to shade you on and stuff like that. The difference between you and them is you did the work. You do the work. And it shows. It shows. So we're finer tuning our intelligence, reviewing the past with compassion and forgiveness as we head into a new direction with clarity in our life and purpose. In our hearts, we know what to do. right? Do what you love. Recognition for the highest quality of work, especially creative endeavors. Being paid well for your craft. Working well with others. An excellent reputation. Right? Beautiful. So this is another babble. There was a lot of different pockets of a lot of different stuff happening all around. Thank you so much, because as I am further awakening to many different things on my own path, and I'm getting even more so comfortable with sharing in my own experience, the balance is here. Blending the ideas of others with your own to create something extraordinary. Successful compromise. The power of diversity, self-control, patience, and balance. I like that. The renewal of Babbles. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, so thank you so much. I will play back when I get a chance, or if you watch, and when you do, and you have any questions, and you're like, hey, would you finish the freaking sentence that you said from the other thing? I will happily do, but I need to know. You know what I'm saying? Communication goes a long motherfucking way. So I plan to dive into a lot of things. And if you're part of the disciplinary act, then you know that it's required of you to listen. And until then, it'll just be flow. For those that are asleep, don't want to receive the opportunities. News and exciting opportunities. Allowing your creativity to soar. Do things that fuel your passions. Finish what you start. Finish what you start. Finish what you start. Finish what you start. Go back to the beginning and finish what you start. With clear perspective, clarity for everything that it is that you're bridging into your 3D reality from your multidimensional plane of existence. All right, hopefully you can hear me. I'm so thankful. I'm grateful. This is your opportunity to like, to comment, to share, to say hello, to subscribe, whatever the case may be. There's a master link that's going to be shared here eventually, and I'm going to timestamp this eventually. Know that the timestamps are fun. You can click on any timestamp and receive whatever amount it's going to be for you. You know what I mean? And those are just random like oracles for you of light. Oracles for you that are light. So you can do that, and there's a master link there that links us on every single platform that's available for us to further connect on. Yeah, and also follow me on Instagram at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS. I have a live free book club. We're going on to week number 11. We are doing the Ask and Is Given with Manifestation Maven and I. All the way, she's from the UK, I'm from the USA, East Coast side, and we are uniting and we are collaborating and just kind of like bringing week to week awesomeness, covering the teachings of Abraham through the Esther and Jerry Hicks book, Ask and Just Given. It's pretty cool. We do live reads there. We did a giveaway for reading and stuff like that. So all that information will be available. Till next time, get your shit in order in preparation for the solar eclipse that is coming. Okay, be clear, my dear. What is happening? Please, freedom.